welcome back to part 2 of the bed raise, bed tilt episode. Part 1, we obviously got into raising the bed, getting it all raised with my perfect kind of square in line for me to be able to do the tilt. So let's see if we can get this thing to raise up with some actuators. I may or may not have got a delivery I've been waiting for. Might be able to go over that. A couple ideas for some exhaust terminations. I want to see what you guys think. Moving along on the inner fender wells. Gonna have that in another episode. And yeah, there may be a part 3 about how I'm gonna do the bed wood. But for now, let's get started with part 2. Would you look at that? Wow. No, I'm just kidding. First time putting sheet metal together. I think it's good. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I think maybe a little bit of filler. I gotta touch up this little piece right there. Other than that, a little bit of filler, primer, paint. Fender covers it anyway, but it's still gotta be perfect. Right now I'm just welding the perimeter. I've decided to do them on 45, so when it lifts up, you won't see the square tubing on the end. It'll be a nice clean cut. Just tack welding that, just about to weld that. So then I'll square it all up, measure that last piece, 1/4 inch all the way around. Then I'll be able to start doing my cross pieces. All right. The frame's more or less built. It'll lift up. So I'm at the scissor hinge part. So the scissor hinges are here. So those will bolt onto the square tubing like that and bolt to a plate that I'm gonna put in. So one goes there, one goes here. So how I'm gonna get the plate in there is I'm going to put a piece of angle iron from here over to here, drill a hole, get the frame bolts through the angle so it'll sandwich it all in there. The angle will be the face up here, angle towards this way, and then I'll weld it. And then I have 7 by 7 inch plates, 1/4 inch thick, so that'll come down, weld to the angle iron up to this piece in here. See the gap? It'll fit. Perfect weld in there. And I'll do one here. Then I can get my hand in behind with the nuts to bolt the scissor hinges in there. And the scissor hinges will both be here and should be able to lift it right up. And then the actuators will be somewhere in here. Let's see how that goes. Drilled the 7 inch by 7 inch plates. That's where the scissor hinges will mount to. I've just labeled them where they're gonna go. A whole bunch of assorted nuts and bolts and lock washers where you can bolt these on, get them all situated, and then tack weld the plates. Just mount like that. Back. And then when they're mounted on, they look like that. And I can get a wrench in behind here to undo them if I need to. All right, those are mocked up. The holes are drilled just a little bit bigger in the scissor hinges, the back plates, just so I have some room for adjustment if I need. But those are all mocked up there. The gaps are all the same around. I've got the magnets on to kind of lock it in place. I have not installed all the braces. I'm short 2, and I have not fully welded this. It's all just tack welded. I really need to make sure that these scissor hinges work. and everything lifts and clears, especially when the wood goes all the way to the end. So I'm just about to tack weld the plate exactly where it's got to be. Right now it's exactly where it needs to go. These are drilled a little bit bigger too for adjustment. But if all goes well and I tack weld those, this thing should lift up. Let's try it out. Okay, those are tack welded on. I put a board on here where it will actually end, and I've tightened the clamp just to replicate it actually being bolted on. Done the same thing here, and where it ends is to see if the scissor hinges would get in the way or not. So we'll try. Moment of truth. And appears to work. I'm gonna put another where I welded that little piece in here to support it. Add one more in the middle on each side to give it more strength. But once all the boards are all sandwiched together, it'll make it nice and secure, keep it nice and square. Right now it kind of moves a little bit side to side, but not by much. But I'm pretty confident when all the boards are on there, you won't even notice. Plus the actuators are gonna be bolted to hold it like a track. So I think that's a win. Okay, all the supports are in, everything's tack welded. Added another support where the bed lands on each side. Gaps are all good, and it works. Perfect. All right, here's the Dakota digital actuators. This one here, another one in the box here. Comes with the linear controller. You can do as an add-on, so it runs both motors at the same time, with this cool little 3-function setting switch that I can mount somewhere on the dash. Probably powder coat the faceplate, just so it looks a little bit better. I don't really have any brushed on the truck, but so I can set 3 different functions. Comes with the manual switches, so these will be hidden somewhere under the dash or maybe under the seat, and then you can adjust each one if you have to, and then once they're adjusted, then you do your presetting. So yeah, so I've temporarily just hooked up the switch, so it should work. And then now I can fully extend it, and that'll help me put it in position for the mock-up to see how far up it goes. And then I'll use the other one for fully retracted. And then, yeah. And then figure out how to mount them. All right, I've gone with the actuators getting mounted to the cab mounts. You see down over there. I tried them in a whole bunch of different areas, but those seem to work out the best. And then I've welded and made a bracket on each side, tack welded it to fit, drilled a couple holes in here, sandwiched these 2 plates. So one of them's the actuator, holds it, and then through the top to the backer plate. So those are all sandwiched in, did the same on the other side. They're perfectly symmetrical, same measurements, same cuts. So when the bed's tilted up, you'll be able to see it from the underside, but these will get fully welded and the wood will cover for the bed. You won't see any of that. Yeah, it worked out really good. Same thing, I sandwiched the plate in behind here, drilled holes, test fit everything and got it all welded and bolted up. Works good. You can see you got the scissor hinges, and then the actuator is perfect on each side. And I've temporarily hooked up a 12-volt battery. This is my Dakota digital controller. Both motors operate off of it. Got the switch. So I can just lift it up and down for now. But it does come with this right here. It's a 3-way function, so it'll light up. One could be set to whatever I choose, which will probably be the height of my bed to lift up to fill gas. Second one probably be, you know, if we're ever at a car show or something, we can hit that so it goes all the way up. And 3 will just be an average halfway mark. So that'll get bolted to the dash. Yeah, that's that. So let's try it out. Okay guys, I wanna ask you guys something, see if you guys have any ideas or thoughts, comments about exhaust. So it's not bagged right now all the way down, still can go quite a bit more. I'm just messing with the box still. So I gotta start thinking about my exhaust. Frame obviously touches the ground. The exhaust is coming through those 2 holes there. My Borla mufflers will be in here. I'm gonna be able to squeak under the frame rail right here. And then I can't, well, I could go straight out the back, but I have my compressors. I wanna stay away from there. And I actually don't like the look of that. The bumper is gonna be here, right? I really did like the, through the fender exhaust. I've asked a couple people, they're not a huge fan. I've seen it come through the running board here. That's pretty cool, but it's been done. So it's through the fender. I got these dirt scum through the fender exhaust. They contour to the fender. I was gonna powder coat those black, have chrome bolts all the way around, but I just don't know if I want it there on the white. So I'm thinking of actually putting it very back here. So it'll come through at the very back. You can still see it. The bumper does come around, but I think it'll be a different finish. One on each side. So you got to think this is white, powder coat black, all chrome bolts, and then a flared 3.5-inch exhaust tip. So it should look pretty crisp, but yeah, what do you guys think? So far, that's my first option. Option 2 is through here. Option 3 is just to dump it normally there, but that's too boring. So yeah, I'm gonna see how that goes. Let me know. Oh my, would you look at that? The 58-inch housing showed up. But of course the axles didn't, because UPS misplaced the box that they're now going to try and find. Apparently it'll be here tomorrow. So good news. And now I should be able to take that out, package that back up in that box, get this put in. Everything should fit perfect.